Welcome back to the Corporate Sister TV. I'm Solange Lopes and I'm the founder of the Corporate Sister website and brand. In today's video, I am discussing 3 ways in which we as working women and moms can begin and or continue to rethink our careers and businesses in the wake of the pandemic. The recent COVID-19 pandemic, which we're still trying to emerge from slowly but hopefully surely, has radically transformed the world of work, what with hybrid work arrangements, endless Zoom meeting, and for us as working women and moms, having to pile up household, child care, elder care responsibilities on top of our career and business responsibilities. So we've learned, some successfully, some not so successfully, to reinvent the way we work, to reimagine the way we work. And for many, if not most of us, especially as working women and moms, it's been a challenge. So much so that many studies and much of the concrete experiences and stories of working women and moms are telling us that we're tired. We're coming out of this pandemic tired, exhausted, for many of us hanging by a thread and really seriously rethinking what we truly want out of our careers and our businesses. However, for many, if not most of us, it's challenging to know where to start. We're still grappling with work responsibilities, for many of us with careers that we love, but also with childcare, household, elder care, and all other types of responsibilities bearing on our shoulders. So where do we start? Here are 3 ways that I'd like to offer to your consideration. The first one is first to revisit your mindset, right? And to go into what I call this mindset shift approach when it comes to the way you think about your work and your careers. And using this experience of the pandemic that we've all gone through can be particularly helpful in this process. When you look back at the past 18 months, what's worked? What really hasn't worked? What have you learned from this experience, and how has it allowed you to think about your career differently? Have you found that you've been less satisfied by your career? Have you found that you've been wanting more out of your work, or maybe less out of your work, that you want maybe a more integrated approach between your career and your life choices? What is it as part of this pandemic that's made you think of your work differently, and what different perspective or what different perspectives have you gained from this recent crisis? This is going to require a serious mindset shift from many of us who've been socialized and taught to think about work in a very traditional way, as a place where we go to fulfill certain roles and expectations, as opposed to something that maybe we need to do more for fulfillment, more for a sense of purpose, something that needs to be more a part of our life as opposed to just one section of what it is that we do or a part of our identity. So entering into this mindset shift zone and learning to think about our careers differently from the lessons we've learned from this recent crisis would be the first step to begin this process of rethinking our careers and businesses. The second step is to take time for organization and reorganization, not just of your home office, but of your priorities. And again, going back to what this pandemic has taught us and how it has allowed us to rethink about our priorities and what truly matters to us. For many of us, it's been making more time for our family, for our interests, for our passions, and finding ways maybe to integrate this with the work that we do, right? How have these priorities, how have your priorities changed in the wake of the pandemic? And how can you begin again to think about organizing or reorganizing your priorities in between your work and your life? Last but not least, the last step that I would like to offer to your consideration is to start thinking or continuing to think about boundaries that you're implementing in your career and in your life. One of the biggest issues that came out during the pandemic for many, if not most of us as working women and moms, is the lack of boundaries we've experienced between our work and our personal life. Everything came together as we tried to homeschool our kids, prepare meals at home, work with our spouse, and be all together in the same house and carrying all of these responsibilities all at once. And I strongly believe that it's this lack of boundaries that's really taken us to a point where so many of us are exhausted and hanging by a thread. But what it's doing is that is providing us with the opportunity to rethink our boundaries. Maybe we didn't have a clear sense of what our boundaries should look like. And these may be different from one person to another. What's your sacred space? What are those priorities that I talked about earlier that are so important to you that they need to be clearly delineated from the rest of your responsibilities and the remainder of your life and work activities? And how can you begin again to think about putting clear delineations between the different areas, the different priorities, the different sacred spaces of your life to get to a place where you find more of a sense of fulfillment, more of a sense of purpose in your career and by extension in your life. These were the 3 points that I wanted to offer to your consideration. So as a quick recap, first, undergo a serious mindset shift to rethink about your idea of what constitutes a worthwhile career or business. Second, organize and reorganize your priorities. And third, last but not least, think about setting some clear boundaries between the different areas, priorities, and responsibilities of your life. I hope this helped a bit. I'd be curious to know about your insights on rethinking your career and business in the wake of the recent pandemic. Please email us at corporate@thecorporatesister.com. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.